Hi, and welcome to our table group conversation for this week. It's good to be able to share in this time together. Our scripture lesson for this week is Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 through 5. And let me read that to you for just a second. It says this, these are the words of Jesus. It says, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way that you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." Those are the words attributed to Jesus from the book of Matthew. And obviously, we're talking about judgment and what it means to look at others. And as I was thinking of this, I wanted to pull in from a quote from Henry Nouwen. So I want to read this quote to you as well. And just sit and listen to these words and meditate on what they might mean for you. So hear Henry Nouwen's words. "In order to be of service to others, we have to stop judging them, to stop evaluating them, and thus become free to be compassionate. Compassion can never coexist with judgment, because judgment creates the distance, the distinction, which prevents us from really being with the other. These judgments influence deeply our thoughts, our words, and our actions. Those whom we consider lazy, indifferent, hostile, or obnoxious, we treat as such, forcing them to live up to our own views. These self-created limits prevent us from being available to people, and they shrivel our compassion." That's the end of Henry Nouwen's quote, and I just want you to think on some of those ideas that he presents there and what he is saying about what it means to make sort of a judgment about somebody, and what it means that they then have no option but to live into that judgment that you've made for them because of the way that you are actually treating them. And it's sort of a circular conversation that I'm not sure I've ever fully engaged in myself with some self-examination. And so I thought that we would bring this forward this week and that we would try and talk about what that means. And so I'd like for you to respond to this specific statement from that quote. It says, "Those whom we consider lazy, indifferent, hostile, or obnoxious, we treat as such, forcing them to live up to our own views." So take that, sit with it, let it convict you, let it make you uncomfortable. Find ways that you may be treating people in a way that you just know that they are, and you're not giving them the opportunity to be anything different because of the way that you initially treated them in your first encounter. How can you also look at this and think of ways that you can treat all people with the same loving kindness? And is it possible to avoid making a judgment about another person? Some argue that we are predisposed, it's our innate wiring, that we automatically come up with judgments and prejudice, but not always that they have to result in discrimination, but prejudice in that we make an assumption or a decision about another person regardless of what we know of them. And so I just want you to explore that and really do a lot of deep self-reflection and see where it is that this may be true for you. And if it's not true, push back a bit and have those conversations. I hope you have blessed conversations this week, and I look forward to hearing what it is that you do have to say. Until next time, bye-bye.